So today I am doing a little video called The Energy That's Holding You Back is Different from the Energy That Will Move You Forward. And to just explain a little bit about what I mean by that is, well, right now in the world, there's a ton of chaos out there, and it can make us feel helpless. And those helpless feelings can really hold us back and make us feel like, what's the point of doing anything? Which kind of spirals into more helplessness. So this video is not about like making you all cheerful and gung ho because honestly, I'm a little bit suspicious of constant cheerful gung ho ness. Um, Human beings, our emotions change; they just do, and I think it's real important to really feel what we feel. But I also think it's really important not to live inside of what we feel and not to be overwhelmed by what we feel and not to have our feelings dictate our every move because there may be better guides than that. So, in this video, I'm going to do a few pieces of healing work that can open you to new possibilities by giving you a new perspective on whatever, snarl of problems you're looking at. Because when we have new perspective, we have new opportunities. And maybe that opportunity would be really tiny, but that doesn't really matter because what matters is that instead of being stuck, we're starting to flow. Instead of being, completely clueless, clueless. There should be a word like clueless. Instead of being completely clueless, we begin to get a sense of what our next step could be. And that is way more helpful than a lot of people would lead you to believe. The whole school of like the, sudden boom into total bliss. Um, Personally, I think it's pretty much a lie. It's generally gradual for people, one way or another, and that's just the way it works. So, if you are interested in taking a first step, or maybe a first few steps into a different perspective that allows you some more possibilities, then keep watching or listening, as the case may be. And the first healing piece that I'm going to do to help with that is something that I call calm and harmonize the outside nervous system. And this is actually a piece that I'm going to make into a freebie. I'm in the process of redoing my site. So I'll be offering this as a recorded piece that you can download and use. And the point of this piece is psychology has long recognized, and harder sciences are starting to catch up, that there are connections between us and our surroundings, like the tree behind me and my neighbor in the house over there, and there are connections between us and everything. And one of the ways psychology depicts it is, well, if you meet up with somebody, suddenly your brain changes. The chemistry and the electromagnetics in your brain shift, and it's not as if that person has like stuck a prod in there or is like putting electrodes on you and giving you jolts. And the same thing is happening to them, by the way. So why would that be? That's because we do have some kind of, I would say, electromagnetic, other people might argue, connections between us and everything, including people, but also events, trees, ground, you name it. It's all there. So a lot of times for those of us who are a little on the sensitive and empathic side especially, events get overwhelming, and I would say, honestly, the events that have been happening in the world lately are pretty much overwhelming for anybody. So this piece kind of just calms down the system a little, calms down all that stuff that's coming in, and kind of, you know, it kind of filters out the static more. Now, depending on where you are, it will be to whatever point you can get to. But any way that you can do this will give you a lot more bandwidth for seeing something new and feeling new possibilities. When you're just being barraged by a ton of messages from outside that you feel like you can't control, not so much. Okay, so here we go. My usual method of healing is to go silent because it's super efficient. And so I will be really boring to look at. What will be really interesting is what's going on inside you. So I'd suggest that you close your eyes, which is what I will be doing shortly, and just allow yourself to be as receptive as possible. So check in right now and see what you're feeling, um, see what you're thinking, and notice whatever body sensations are going on. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go silent. Your job is to be as comfortable and receptive as you can right now. Here we go. Okay, so check into your thoughts and your emotions and your body sensations again and notice anything that is different. And if you like that difference, maybe just spend a little time savoring it because that will integrate it more into your nervous system and that will give you a sort of different baseline in regard to all this. So, okay, now that we have a little bit more bandwidth to deal with, then I'm going to do a piece on opening new possibilities because we have a little more bandwidth to open to them now. So this piece will be the same kind of work as far as what you do and what I look like. It will be silent again. Um, I stare into space like that when I'm sort of checking my intuition for messages, and I'm not really getting anything to say about this right now. I might be winding up talking about it afterward, but I think I'm just going to do this piece for you to experience. It's about going to the source of energy and renewing energy. Okay? So here we go. Again, your job is to be as receptive and as comfortable as you can and to check into the way you feel, the way you're thinking, your body sensations. And here we go. Okay. So that piece connected us to something that's a lot more stable than human life, although it's also a part of human life, and it's a part of actually your own body. But these are parts that, um, in a lot of cultures, we have been taught to kind of dumb down, numb down, ignore. But they're really key, especially now, especially in times when we really need some kind of stability that comes from something deeper than people's thoughts and feelings. Because basically, your thoughts and feelings are pretty much the same thing. They come from very similar places. And while thoughts and feelings are very valuable, they're not all that we have accessible to us as far as knowing things. And so, we might want to open to those new possibilities of knowing things in a different way and of having a different viewpoint on our thoughts and emotions. Okay, so I'm going to do a third piece to kind of see us out. And this is about integrating new possibilities into your daily life because this is where I get kind of annoyed with a lot of people who are into, like, self help or healing or so forth. Um, like, you get the big, you know, exciting, opening to the new thing. But the fact is that, getting an insight, and believe me, I was an insight junkie for a long time, so I know how this works. It's thrilling in the moment, but if it's not integrated into your daily life, it doesn't really make too much difference in, how you live your life and how the life around you changes. So this piece is for integrating new possibilities into your daily life. And again, this might not be something like super dramatic, it might be something very simple, like, you notice when you're beating yourself up and you stop, you know, and you can also stop going into that whole ridiculous cycle that I did for a while, which is like beating myself up for beating myself up for beating myself up. Yeah, you can quit that one. You really can. And the first step is being aware of when you're doing it. And then you can learn ways to kind of gradually fade that out of your life so that you can, kind of be more useful and have more fun. I think that that's a really good thing to do with our lives. And also, if you want to look at it on a bigger scale, if you are upset with what's going on in the world, well, how are we going to envision new possibilities from an old place? If we can only envision, little repeats of what we have already imagined, then we're not going to make much change. But if we go through this process of eliminating some static so we have a little more bandwidth, and then going kind of deeply into where that energy comes from and realizing that it's possible to take a different point of view of that energy. And then if we actually integrate it into our daily lives and do stuff according to that insight, that's what changes us and changes the world around us and makes us able to do things, that could create a vision for a world we would all really like to live in, which I think, you know, pretty much most people want. We have different ideas about how to get there, but this is one that is both powerful and peaceful. So I highly recommend it. Okay, so let's do the healing one more time. I will again go silent. Your job again is to be as relaxed and receptive as you can in this moment, life being what it is. And here we go. Okay, so once more, check in to how you're feeling emotionally, what your thoughts are, and any physical sensations in your body. And just maybe remember what it was that those felt like at the beginning of this video and notice any differences. And again, if you like those differences, then, you know, savor them a little bit so you make them more your own. And if this video is helpful to you, I totally recommend that you repeat it. And if you think you have friends that would benefit from it, definitely send them here and they can check it out. I think that we all need support in envisioning what's possible for us. And I mean, I certainly do. And I think that when we do it together, it happens faster and it works better. Okay, so until the next time, thanks for being here with me. And now I figure out, where is my cursor?